Well, I ran out of charcoal, so instead I'm using rotten sticks that I have outside my forge. It actually works pretty well. You just put the fresh wood on top, and then as it kind of carbonizes and breaks down, it goes to the bottom, and as long as you keep pumping the bellows, the fire itself is so hot that it ignites all of the smoke. So you know, you're not inhaling smoke constantly. So I just put some of these fresh ones on top. You don't need to be too careful with it. There. So if I just leave it here without yeah, you see that there's a lot of smoke being produced, but once I get it fired up, the flames just consume it. So right now I'm making the guard, and I'm hot punching a hole and then drifting it onto the blade, kind of like architectural ironwork where you're doing tenons and slitting and drifting and all that. I kind of got inspired by that, and I want to make a knife that has kind of those features in it. Tapering it, because the guard has a kind of a taper. I'm giving it an even thickness. And now I'm going to bring it over to the horn and start working here. Kind of lengthening this area. Because this part is going to be, this is going to be the front here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to start punching the hole. So to punch this, I'm using a really ghetto looking rebar punch, but as long as I kind of hammer it cold afterwards and get all the bends out of it and the swells, and I think this will just last me long enough. Ooh, oh my god, I almost got to forge welding heat there. That was close. Come on. Hopefully this didn't just stick in there. There we go. Okay, one more heat, and then I think it'll be through. Close. Okay, there it is. All right. Pretty much made it through. Yep, I can see light on the other side. It's just that the little plug is still there. Seems like there's a lot more forge scale than usual. Probably the sticks doing that. Okay. I'm just gonna pass this plug back through. Drive this in some more. Yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit off center, but I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. It's about that far on the tank. I think I can drift it even more than that and get away with it, so I will. This out again. Cool, okay. And it does look like it's really wide right now. And in fact, let's check it out against the knife. Yeah, right now it's kind of wider than it will be when it's finished, but I can just hammer it a little bit like that. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. So now I'm going to stick the knife in the vise. I have a tube tool that will kind of go around it, and then I'll kind of stick the knife in the vise upside down so then I can hammer it on to the tang, kind of like a mandrel. Alright, I have my tube tool here. I just put it in, this is galvanized by the way, so I didn't heat it up. I just put it in a vise and kind of squished the very end, so once it goes on, I can just use a hammer and then kind of hammer it up until it reaches these shoulders here. And then I'm going to hammer it onto the shoulders so it forms like a really snug fit. I hope that'll work. I've never done this before. I think, well, I have done this one other time, but it wasn't very successful. So I hope for success for this one. Okay, there's that. And then take this. Okay, so now it's pretty much cold. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to grab it by this. Oh man, that's clamped. And then put it in the vise like this. You hammer with my non-dominant hand. Oh, wow, that was much easier than I thought it would be. Okay. This again. Put it right there. Drop your tongs and then close. I think I'll make it to the shoulders on the next heat. Alright, made it to the shoulders, and it's actually moving in the vise. I don't think I torqued it down enough, but it looks pretty good. Yep, alright. One more heat and I'd say that it's ready to cut off. I'm not paying attention. Nice. What I want right there. Sweet. Bing. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna show you this here. You might be able to see those impressions that I got from that. I really like that look. Now I'm going to cut this off here. Straighten it up just a little bit. Alright, looking pretty good. Hammered on it a little bit, so I think I'll actually have to file it out some more. My knife is also going to include a tenon joint on the end, and it's kind of like a wedge tenon that's going to go in the back of the knife to secure the handle on. So now I'm going to make, let's see here. Now I'm going to make a little wedge that will fit kind of in this piece here. This is the rear plate that I made. And this plate, the tang is going to stick out through this, and then the little wedge is going to go this way and kind of secure it once you hammer it in. Okay, I think that's a good taper. Now I'm not going to disconnect this from the main bar because I might still need to file it a little bit, but if you look at this, this wedge is kind of going to go across like this, and I might kind of soften the edges on this little wedge just in case, and I'll file it down some, and I'll probably end up giving it a forge finish in the end, maybe. Depends on if I'm confident enough that I won't lose it in the fire. So I think that's the end for forging. Now all I have to do is put this back plate and the bolster into some vinegar, and tomorrow I can start filing it down, because the forge scale that forms on these pieces is about like Rockwell hardness 65 maybe. I think I saw somebody test it on one of their forge finish blades, and their tester said that it was 65 Rockwell hardness, which is just about as hard as a file, so you don't want to mess with that. And also I forged the blade a little bit more. It wasn't really forging, it was just barely tapping it with the hammer, but I think that exposing it to that oxidation again kind of covered up the spots where the vise was scratching it. So hopefully that'll be hidden. So this will go up here. It's going to be filed so it reaches the shoulder there. And this doesn't fit at all because, well, actually, no, it does a little bit. But yeah, that's going to basically be what the two metal pieces are gonna look like, kind of, except that one will be there. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a good looking knife when I'm through with it. And this will be able to be taken apart and put back together as many times as you want. And I mean, I know that it's not, like, historically knives weren't always meant to be taken apart, but I just kind of like the whole idea of it because it's almost like meditation, where you disassemble a rifle and then put it back together and oil it up and clean it up. There's something about that I really like. Plus, if you end up screwing up and you realize, oh crap, I should have done this on the knife, I can just simply go back and do it again and make a new piece for it if I want.